In a town where the stars don't shine, CK and Uncle Bill feeling fine, talking horror movies by the fire so bright, creeping in Kentucky on a chilly night. Snow is falling yet the air feels tight, laughing in shadows in the moon's pale light. Uncle Bill's stories make your eyes go wide. Christmas gets spooky, but hearts open wide. Let's get gay this holiday, we'll spin and sway, with ghostly tales and bright lights night into day. Dancing through Kentucky streets so haunted and gray. Let's get gay this holiday, hip hip hooray. Presents wrapped like mummies old and bold. Tales of terror and fun join hands and fold. CK's laugh echoes down the eerie road. Christmas has never felt this bold. Let's get gay this holiday, we'll spin and sway, with ghostly tales and bright lights night into day. Dancing through Kentucky streets so haunted and gray. Let's get gay this holiday, hip 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 hooray. Mistletoe hangs where the shadows play, whispers in the night from LBJ. Ghouls and goblins join as we're led astray. In Kentucky where we go our own way.
Hell yeah. You ready to get gay this holiday, Uncle Bill?
Yeah, I think we should get as gay as humanly possible this holiday.
That's some finger snapping, toe tapping. Good shit, boss.
That is possibly the greatest song that we've ever done for anything.
Oh, so, yeah. It is very festive. I agree with Brett Stroll. So this is something that we haven't done together in a while. Pretty much just a random ask us anything show. And we get right into business, boys, for the entire show. So throw the songs. You can throw the songs
Throw the songs at us too, yeah.
Yeah. Those the questions, and we're going to go through them fast and furiously. Here's one that I catch right away here. Dino Jaskowski. Do you guys think they'll ever do...
Look how festive this shit is. Look here.
What?
The background. Oh.
It's just...
Somebody's going to have a seizure tonight.
They'll ever do the Lost on DVD Prom Night 2, Mary Lou and a Nice 2K or 4. Didn't they just do like a Blu-ray of it or something? A Prom Night 2?
No. People have been trying to get that sumbitch to come out forever.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so, unless it was overseas.
I thought Vinegar Syndrome or somebody would... No?
No. That's one of the main ones people keep like talking about wanting to come out.
Really? For some reason, I thought Prom Night 2 is like a Vinegar Syndrome. There's just too much shit coming out nowadays, evidently. I thought for sure Vinegar Syndrome did a Prom Night.
I wish, but no.
Too many gummies, evidently. Biff Byford is in here, though, boys. Welcome, Biff. Nice profile pictures there. Jonathan Sonko, any thoughts on Silent Night, Deadly Night? I'm burnt out on Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's
How
fine.
dare you?
It's fine, but if I'm going to watch the Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, it's going to be part 2. You get the best scenes from part 1, and you get the majesty of Eric Freeman.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say, like, regular Christmas movie wise, you're burnt out on? Because I know what my answer to that is.
Well, regular Christmas movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really did watch, like, I guess Christmas Story is one that I've just seen too much. Like, that's one for sure.
That would be my number one. Like, I never watch that anymore.
I picked up at the Goodwill not too awful long ago, and I'm watching it. I really need to go back and watch. I think I've got it on Blu-ray, but this is a shitty colorized version of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
On VHS, and it looks like dog shit, but it's fun. Colorized shit. Remember that? Like, was it Ted Turner that kind of invented
Turner
that?
classic movies, yeah, and all that shit.
Yeah.
Where he tried to colorize all the black and white movies.
Yeah, it's very. I can't believe they ever thought that looked good, but it is what it is. I think I've got a Night of the Living Dead colorized one too. We like to stay festive. The holiday season's upon us. People are Christmas shopping already, and yeah. All right, another one for Biff Byford. Oh, I don't think we can talk about that.
What is it? Hold on.
I don't know what you want. I didn't even.
God, no, we just not.
I have not listened to the John Waters commentary on Christmas Evil. I know that that's one of his favorite movies. I think I had heard that.
Christmas Evil is one of the most underrated films probably out there for horror films, honestly. I was watching Black Christmas again, like the original Black, and I actually watched the 2006 version again too. And have you ever noticed, like in the original Black Christmas, how fucking awful and annoying Olivia Hussey is in that movie? Like, that's one of the worst characters, man. You don't really notice it because, like, when you first watch it or anything, because you're focused on the Billy storyline and all that. But she goes through that whole movie basically ruining that guy's life. Like, so the dude wants to be a concert pianist. It's what he's wanted to be like his whole life, right? He tells her, like, I've been up for 4 nights practicing for this fucking recital that I'm going to give that determines whether or not I get into this, like, music space or whatever. And then she's like, well, we got to talk about something now. And then, like, then the next day she's like, I'm pregnant with you, baby. I'm having an abortion. Look. And then it's like, he screws up his whole fucking recital. And then, like, shit, he keeps trying to talk to her about it. And she's like, get away from me. I hate you.
Yeah. It's been a little while since I've seen. Did we do a commentary for Black Christmas a couple of years ago? It's probably the last time I watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. But, like, I just never noticed until recently, like, how bad that character is. Like, just how it almost makes me not want to watch that movie just because, like, once you see it, you can't, like, not see it. All she does is bitch and complain throughout the whole movie. She's super annoying.
It's a weird, she is a weird choice for, like, I guess the final girl or whatever in it. Because, I mean, she doesn't really do much to get you on her side in that movie, now that I think about it. Matter of Pat, he's wanting to know if we're going to get that $60 Romulus VHS tape.
I pray for anybody that bought that. I pray for your soul and your sanity. If you bought the Alien Romulus VHS tape, boys,
$60 too. It'd be one thing if it was like $25. I mean, I still wouldn't get it, but God, $60.
That's
Come
one
on.
of the, I just don't get the hype for that movie, man.
Jonathan Songco wants to know our thoughts on Thanksgiving. Well, we did a Dead Pit on the road for Thanksgiving about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago when it came out in theaters. So if you want detailed review, check that video out. But yeah, I think we both liked it. Just a quick answer for you. I
Yeah,
haven't went back and rewatched it yet. I haven't bought it.
There's this fucker like that was commenting on stuff on YouTube, and he was like, "You said you like that movie Thanksgiving? That movie's a rip off of Scream, you dummies! I'm fucking getting off your Patreon now. You suck." It's like, how do you expect somebody to respond to that exactly? It's like you've decided you're going to just like completely go like not watch our show anymore and get off our Patreon because you don't agree
You have a
with
different
the movie.
opinion than what we have.
I'd say that's probably a good bet. You should do that. Yeah. That's right. I'd say it's good. It's a good idea.
Black Peter's asking if we've listened to Typo Negative.
Yeah.
We look like fucking a couple people that listen to Typo Negative.
I mean, I have actually listened to Typo Negative, but like only like one or two of their bigger songs, like I had heard. What's the one, Little Miss So and So, Little Miss Can't Be Wrong? I don't remember. Like there's one of them. There's Black number one, I think.
I'm not familiar with their music. Sorry.
I wish I could get that low of a register, but I can't. You probably could.
Yeah, it's time to fucking rock out tonight.
It's gonna be
Hell
time to play the game.
Time to play the game.
Time to play the game.
Phil Burnell, will there be any difference between the imprint version of The Keep? We'll just have to
No.
wait and find out. I don't think that they'll have a director's cut either. And to be honest, like I'm not familiar with The Keep. I didn't get to pick up the limited edition Keep, so if somebody out there bought two of them, did you get the limited edition one with the slipcover?
Yeah. That was the first thing I bought, man, because like I knew that was going to sell out, but I didn't think it would sell out in 2 days or something.
No, like usually what I would do is like I was pretty busy that whole weekend, and I was like, well, on Sunday or Monday or whatever, because the sale's going to be through Monday. You wouldn't think that they would have sold 12,000 copies within a 3 or 4 day span, but they sold it in less than 2 days.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I've never seen anything like that go that fast on there. I don't think there's another title that I could think of that did. So nobody was really prepared. Well, I'll tell you one actually that wasn't like, a big title, but that freaking Beavers movie, which nobody, I think, expected to do anything, sold out pretty much immediately that day. It was like a 2,000 copy run or something like that. I'd never even heard of it. I don't even know what the hell it is, but people were losing their damn minds.
Hundreds of beavers for me.
Yeah.
Fuck. Whatever.
Beavers for free.
We already got that one. I'm Madman.
Yeah.
We've talked about Madman quite a bit, but not I'm Madman. Isn't that Tibor Tokix?
I believe so. It's got Jenny Wright in it. Like, you remember Jenny Wright? Like, yeah. It's one of the few movies where she actually stars in, too.
That soft, milky skin.
It's the best way to describe her, really. It's not a bad movie, man.
I think I've got that on Laserdisc, but I don't really remember it.
You know who put it out on Blu-ray, right? Your favorite company.
Scheme Factory. That's why I don't own it. Fuck them.
But it's not a bad movie. I actually kind of enjoy it.
Is it as good as just Madman?
No.
Okay. That's asking too much, though, I guess.
No.
Trey S842. How do you insure your collection? Standard homeowners or renters insurance? Reimburses face value. Do you have a policy rider? Just take the risk. So we checked into this here. Like, we just have the standard homeowners insurance, which covers, I can't remember how much contents inside the house. Our insurance company actually doesn't have, like, you'd have to go through a separate company that just does collectible insurance and stuff like that. I think is what they told us. They don't sell insurance like that.
No, I went through Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, and I got mine for like $1 million.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Brain scan. A matter Pat's asking, was it underrated?
Periodically, we'll get this question in different streams, like, and I always say the same thing. Yes, it's highly underrated. Like, I think some people think it's goofy or something, but it takes me back to the 90s, if only for a day. Like, it is like a quintessential looking 90s movie, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fashion and the houses and the set pieces and everything. It's just, and then Edward Furlong is like the techie nerdy kid, but like being a techie nerdy kid at that time means like he's got one of those giant ass like PC desktops that still doing like code and shit into it. And the biggest like technology thing he's got is like he can like tell a phone to dial up enough and it will. Like,
yeah, it's like 19, what was that, 94?
94 or 5, yeah, somewhere in there.
It was like watching, do you remember the Sandra Bullock movie, The Net?
Yeah.
That's so fucking entertaining just to watch for the technology aspect of it. Because, like, the internet was some sort of mysterious, dangerous thing then, which I wish it would go to that again. Like, Jay, I don't know if you saw Jay's pissed off because the state of Texas and their piece of shit governor banned porn online. And,
yeah, there's a lot of states that are doing that, which is really weird that all of a sudden they're doing that to me, where they're having people verify their age through like identification and shit and signing into these sites. It's like, that's what you want to do. You want to give a porn site like your identification and fucking passwords and stuff.
Crater has an interesting question, and I'm kind of confused. Crater, how the fuck could you remember Druthers? There's no way.
He don't. There ain't no way he wasn't even fucking born.
Yeah, I mean, he may have been born, but he was like probably 3 or 4 years old whenever Druthers went out, I think, right? Had to have been. But
I would like to know a solid date of when Druthers went out of business, because I don't remember.
I don't either. I think like Dairy Queen, it dissolved into Dairy Queen, right? I think.
I couldn't have been any more than 8 or 9 years old when Druthers went out.
I think like definitely before 1990, Druthers was, or maybe 91 at the latest, Druthers was gone. But the best thing about Druthers is cheeseburgers. You could get you a cheeseburger, get you some fried chicken, a fried chicken thigh, or a leg, or breast, and some tater wedges.
That was the standard, thing there. They were like Hardee's before Hardee's, I guess, or before Hardee's was around here.
I don't know, like, how many people in the chat let us know, like, if any of you guys remember Druthers. Now, there's one left in Campbellsville, Kentucky that Sarah and I visited a few years ago. And they had a hot bar, kind of, but, like, I don't know. It's, like, not really Druthers. I mean, it's called Druthers, but they didn't have fried chicken. They had, their burgers tasted like McDonald's. But yeah, anybody out there in internet land remember Druthers, let us know in the chat if you had a favorite meal there. But Crater, there's no fucking way you remember Druthers. Calling you out.
It was called, what was it called too? Dairy Queen? Not Dairy Queen, Dairy King or something like that for a while, or Burger Queen. It was something weird. Like when that thing switched from
I think it was Burger Queen.
Okay, so it was like Burger Queen.
Their mascot was Queenie Bee or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? But that was before we were even born, I think, is when that, like, I remember my parents was telling me about that.
There's some weird variation of like Burger King and Dairy Queen. They just combine the two.
Now, what is Red One? Rambo or Uncle Bill? You're gonna have to clue me in on that.
That's that
I don't.
shitty fucking Rock movie that just came out. Um,
Doesn't it seem like The Rock has a movie out every fucking week or something? Like,
yeah, he does. Like he's got several out a year at least. And I was telling Rambo this the other day, like, and I'm legitimately honest about this. There's not a single movie he's made that I really like. I think I've seen a bunch of them, but like I don't think I've ever really, really liked a Rock movie where it was like I want to go back and watch that or something.
yeah, I'm trying to
I
think.
just
Like, was The Rock in The Longest Yard?
I don't know. I don't think so. Just
I
Stone
can't
Cold, wasn't it?
remember. They had a bunch of wrestlers in it, but that
Stone
that
Cold
one.
and Paul White.
But like
I
when
don't
I
remember
say
the Rock.
like a movie, it's a movie that you actually want to own. I don't own any Rock movies. I don't think I have any of them on even DVD. So yeah, not. I'm a fan of him in wrestling,
Yeah.
but as far as the acting aspect, I mean, it's not really his fault. It's fucking Hollywood, really. Like they don't make any good, like good action movies anymore, and that's kind of his forte.
There's so many questions on here. There's no way in fucking hell we're getting to these questions.
Yeah, I want to be more selective. A lot of your goofy ass questions and stuff that's going to get us in trouble, we're skipping over. But if you see anything, you can bring it up too.
All right, hold on. There's a couple on here. Question for us both. What was your first car? This is
Well,
cute.
the weird thing about me is like I did get a permit and everything when I was 16, but I didn't really start fully driving until I was like 33. So the first car that I really started driving technically was Hyundai GX 350 or XG 350. It was my dad's car. My father-in-law actually has it now, so it's still technically in the family. But back in the day, my dad had a Dodge Ram that I, practice drove on for a couple of years. Then I just quit for a decade.
Just quit for a decade.
I just like,
Fuck it.
it's not my thing.
Mine was a 1986 GMC S15 long wheelbase. It was like the S10s that they had at that time, except for some ungodly reason, it had long wheelbase. So like, it was huge. You could fucking had like a swimming pool in the back of that thing. Like you just had people like dive into it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why I mean, it was my grandfather's truck that my dad bought off him and then gave to me. So at the time that I was, it was already like 11 years old. Like, so
The first vehicle I remember you having was that little Kia, but
yeah,
that was bought new for you, right?
that one was bought new. That was the first one that was bought new. That was a Kia Sportage. Like, I don't remember what year that would have been, 2000, something like that. Yeah, I was driving up to like Moorhead, and somebody T-boned that truck and totaled it. So
I don't really remember what kind of truck did you say it was?
it was an 86 GMC S15. It was like an ST. It's like Jared's truck.
Was it red?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I kind of remember it. I think.
that's what I drove in high school. Like,
What did we pre-order for December? I didn't pre-order it.
Shit. For December or like in December? Because I've pre-ordered a shit ton of stuff in December. I don't know, man.
Can't
Like,
even
I don't
remember, man. That's
I can't. Like, I never really know when this stuff is coming out. Like, I can't keep track of all the time. Like, when you go into those pre-orders and stuff, like,
Yeah.
I never know. Like, some of them are coming out in January, February. I don't know.
I did get a lot of those Canadian. They had what was it? The Christmas Martian and the Land of
Oh
the
yeah,
Small or something like
the
that.
CIP stuff.
Yeah, I got those just because I get a kick out of that fucking shit. They
There
brought the
was a
McRib back.
yeah. They
We
just
talk about
recently
it
did.
every year. I haven't eaten a McRib in probably 10 years or longer. I can't even remember the last time I got one, but I used to love the McRib, but the last time I had it, and I'm like a fucking dog. I can eat anything. If I stop eating something, there's something bad wrong with it. I
Hmm.
couldn't finish it.
You know what it reminds me of now? It reminds me of what I would imagine it would be like if you just took one of them fucking pool noodles and slathered it in barbecue sauce and then just took a big bite out of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it would taste
I'm
like.
not I mean, they may have changed it, but, yeah.
What
Last
are
time
your
I had it, no good.
thoughts on this new VS Votes Blu-ray of Side Roads with Jeff Speakman?
Well, I heard from a lot of people they were upset that it wasn't David Gooslin's Backroads starring
Yep,
Dead
I
Pit.
was.
But I don't know anything about Side Roads. I think the concept of it's kind of cool if it's going to stay as an exclusive for just the people that ordered it as a mystery. Because you never know what you're going to get. It's like a fucking a mystery mini figure or
Hmm.
whatever.
I was going to ask you too. Like, I don't know anything about Side Roads. I'd never seen it, like, or heard of it or anything. I was really, really like disappointed though because I thought for sure, for some reason, I just had it in my head like this would have been like an epic idea of Vinegar Syndrome. I should have known they weren't going to do it because it makes too much sense and it's too great. Like if they had like the only way you would have got the director's cut of the key would have been to do that, and then they shipped it along with like whatever your Black Friday order was. But they didn't do that. They just gave us this old shitty movie.
Speaking of which, too, somebody in the chat let us know because we were talking about this in our group chat the other night. They did that I think it was a porno Blu-ray that they did of I can't remember the damn name of it, but it was the same guy that did Last House on Dead End Street, and they put Last House on Dead End Street on there as kind of a secret Easter
Right.
egg movie, and they were supposed to be remastering that and putting out a special edition of it, but it's been 7 or 8 years since anybody said anything. Like, I wonder what happened with that because that one has never seen any other re-release or anything, and the DVD of that's going for big, big money. So that's kind of interesting.
I remember them talking about that too, but I've not heard anything.
Motionless Zombies, I guess, wanting their opinion on Home Alone 2. He says it's overrated.
I
It's the
mean,
same movie as the first one, just set in New York. Plus, what are the odds of running into the same burglars that broke in Chicago home 2 years? Yeah, but I mean, Home Alone wasn't supposed to be like. I'm sure they thought it would do okay, but it was one of those flukes, kind of. They didn't expect it to make the money that it made, and it was just insane. So they had to figure. I mean, it's stupid, yeah. Because like you had the one thing that I always laughed at in it, because the South Bend Shovel Slayer in the first movie, the old man,
which was a great gimmick.
right? But
Yes.
then you've got the bird lady with
The
the heart
bird
of,
lady is also
yeah.
kind of a cool gimmick. I don't
But she's
know.
got bird shit all over her and stuff, so I kind of like
See,
her because of that.
yeah, I mean, Home Alone. Here's the thing with Home Alone, though. It's not like it's a serious movie to begin with, where the legacy of the movie is important, and
Yeah.
you have to get like really caught up in it or anything like that. Like it's just a goofy ass movie to begin with, and the second one's goofier. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure. We do have 176 people in here, so it's a good opportunity to tell you some bitches to thumbs up the stream. It does help us out. I don't know why people don't do that, but we appreciate you all. And another one here from Blu-ray and 4K Phenomena. Do you think we'll ever see a U.S. Blu-ray of Black Christmas from 2006? 20th anniversary is closing in. Yeah, when is the 20th anniversary? Is it next year? Or?
2026, yeah.
Okay. That's got Scream Factory written all over it. I don't know
It
why.
does. It
Yeah.
absolutely does, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they won't get that movie and release it.
Well, they
That's
finally got Ghosts of Mars. They're doing a 4K,
4K of that.
which I don't hate. Ghosts of Mars is shitty,
I do. I fucking hate that movie.
but it's like, I don't know. I can't totally hate
It's like,
it.
what a stupid cast. And like, I get like what he was going for there. Basically, John Carpenter at that point just given up, and he was like, you know what? Fuck these studios. Give me a bunch of money. I'm gonna make the goofiest damn like Martian kind of film ever.
Well, the thing is
And
a
he
lot of
did.
people don't. I don't know if they just forgot about it or what, but it was originally supposed to be Escape from Mars with Kurt Russell, and Escape from LA was such a flop, they decided to just kind of scrap that idea and make it like its own movie, and that's what we got.
That's a question in of itself. What in the hell happened to John Carpenter?
We,
What's the worst release from Vinegar Syndrome you've ever watched?
jeez,
Damn.
um, man, I've seen
There's been a
so
lot.
many.
There's been quite a few.
The worst one, huh?
Oh, I know what it was. I mean, yeah, I think I know what it was.
What are you thinking?
You know, oddly enough, the one where I was watching it and I was like, this movie is like everything I really, really hate in movies. Is that one that they actually did themselves, that Eight Eyes or whatever?
Oh yeah.
I watched that and I was like, God,
You know,
fucking
one that just comes to mind. I mean, I'm sure there's some that's worse. Was The Fear from '95 that they did
The
with the
Fear was
wooden.
a horrible
God
one.
bless.
Yeah.
Fucking bad. But yeah, I
What's
mean,
that
there's
other one too that's like, oh God, it's similar to that too. That they put out. It's equally as shitty.
which I mean, they put out a lot of shitty movies, but at least most of them are kind of fun in how shitty they are.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at something like Annie Lee's Meat Pies. That's shitty, but it's like great in its own stupid way. Or like Don't Open Till Christmas. Somebody mentioned that on here too. I think it was Robot House mentioned that. Yeah. So like Don't Open Till Christmas to me is like a really good Christmas themed slasher movie. And like I don't know why that movie didn't catch on more than it has.
Mm-hmm.
But Rambo's got a question too. He says, what are your thoughts on folks making all these public domain horror films like Popeye, Mickey Mouse, The Mean One, aka The Grinch, Winnie the Pooh, all that shit?
It's that's a trend that's burning out. Like it's already burnt out. Like to me, like I don't give a fuck. Like the Popeye thing. I don't know how they didn't get sued for the Mickey Mouse thing because, like, I think the only, what is it? Steamboat Willie is the only thing that's actually public
Yeah.
domain, right? Mickey Mouse himself is still, but
I don't know if they
fucking,
actually called him Mickey Mouse though. I think they call him Willie, like for real.
yeah. But I mean, doesn't he use the voice and stuff in it though? The Mickey Mouse voice?
Maybe we saw
Oh, Uncle
I
Bill,
saw the trailer for
shithead.
that, but like I don't remember the voice being in the trailer. Corruption is pretty bad too, by the way. Talking about Vinegar Syndrome titles.
That,
Yeah,
that was the porn, wasn't it? That was the one that was, wasn't that a porn?
I think that was the one that was. That was the one that I think. Wasn't that the one you bought to get Last House on the Dead End Street?
Right,
Or was
but it
that-
wasn't, nobody knew
Right.
it was on there until, fuck. All right. Cats and they're being mean. What is your favorite movie from Kentucky royalty, Jim Varney? I have actually visited Jim Varney's grave. It's in Lexington, just a couple hours from here. Yeah, big fan of Ernest, the Jim Varney. You know, when we were kids, it was like everybody knew he's from Kentucky and like everybody's so proud of him and everything. But I legit liked the movies too. Like it wasn't one of those deals where, everybody would buy a fucking Stephen Foster record or whatever just because it had Old Kentucky Home on it. But that shit fucking sucked.
Jesus.
But
Uh,
favorite Ernest or Jim Varney movie?
I mean, the classic one is Ernest Goes to Camp, but I think in watching them all, like not too long ago, I think that the best one is probably Ernest Goes to Jail. For me. And like I always thought Ernest Saves Christmas was like killer, and then went back, we watched it and did like a commentary on it. It was kind of boring. Like oddly enough.
Ernest Goes to Camp is probably always my favorite one. Like where
Yeah.
he's singing to his turtle.
Yep. The turtle scene.
Fucking killer. Oh gosh. Um,
And then there was one on here I was going to ask somebody. I was going to ask you about if this is actually true.
yeah, go for it. I'm still way behind, so if you want to maybe
I'm
catch
going
up
from
on-
the bottom up. So if you
Okay.
want to go from the top down, we can probably
yeah,
meet in the middle.
We'll meet in the middle.
Oh, that old Georgia pine or something.
We'll gain a lot of ground.
But there was a question here that Dirk had that I was like, this can't be real. So I'm going to just basically summarize what he said because I can't find the question now. That there's going to be a Tyson versus Paul 2. I'm hoping he's fucking joking about that. But is that a legitimate thing?
If they think they can make money on it, yeah.
I'll tell you this, I'd never watch that again. I will never watch anything like that again. I don't give a fuck who Jake Paul's fighting. I don't care if he's fighting Barack Obama or like something like that. I am not ever giving that guy any attention.
Well, he's not a legit fighter, though, is he? Really? Like he's more or
No.
less like that's just like a.
That's his gimmick. He won't ever fight like a legit. The only one time he fought a real fighter, he got his ass whipped and he lost.
No.
He just goes and gets like old fuckers or like people that aren't even really boxers and whips them, and then he's like, I'm killer. It's like it's WWF, man. Like I keep trying to get people to recognize this part of it too. Like what he's doing is the same thing WWF was doing back in the day.
Yeah, I mean he's good. He's a good character. He gets people to. He's a good heel, I guess. Connected with a K. Was watching a past episode when you guys were talking about murder set pieces, and just know that Fred Vogel was very good friends with Nick Palumbo. Fred did a lot of effects for that film. Well, I can tell you wholeheartedly that Fred is not a friend. He's not friends with Nick Palumbo anymore.
Yeah. I think that's very true.
Although we didn't talk about this, but Nick Palumbo's movies, Murder Set Pieces and Nutbag,
Yeah.
are both on sale again. They're
Yep.
doing a 4K of Murder Set Pieces and a Blu-ray of Nutbag.
I already bought Murder Set Piece because that's one of those movies I was waiting forever to come out, man. I just want to see it again because I hated it when I first watched it, but like over time, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty ballsy move, so I just want to go back and watch it again now and see like what it is like now. But Palumbo would be a cool guy to get on and actually like talk to, considering that's out now and he might actually have a reason to do that.
Maybe. We'll see. But yeah,
Let's
very
see.
very underground guy, Nick Palumbo. He's still posting stuff, not very often, but yeah, I think he's still on Twitter, or X, or whatever the hell it's called.
Jake Paul versus Butterbean. I'd love to see it. Well, not now. It'd be about the same thing. But I mean, back in the day. Oh, God. I don't even know. See, this is a good question. I just don't know what's coming out. Most anticipated horror movies of 2025.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's coming out either. We're going to do a 2024 year in review in horror coming up. possibly later on this month or early January.
Well, shit, I could look it up. Let's see what horror releases. Horror releases 2025.
Anticipation, baby.
Okay, you ready for this?
Sure.
28 years later. Are you interested in 28 years later?
No, it's going to go over like a fart in church, man.
What about Megan 2.0? Let me tell you something too, motherfuckers. Right now, all this Megan hate is just a bunch of nonsense to me. It's a bunch of manufactured hatred for a film that was one of the best films released in that year. And then people are like, I don't like it because it's got a little doll in it. I don't like watching movies with little kids and dolls and shit.
Fucking hate, bunch of haters.
Bunch of hipsters. Bunch
y'all
of fucking
know who
hipsters.
you are. Bunch of haters.
Anyway.
If I was subscribed to your Patreon page, I would unsubscribe.
I unsubscribe right now. Yeah. I can't believe this is coming out. The Conjuring Last Rites. Can we stop with the fucking Conjuring?
Evidently,
please?
they can't. They're having a problem stopping. Fucking. How many? Did you say 6?
There's got to be more than 6.
6 Conjuring movies?
It feels like there's 100 of them fucking movies.
They have like a Conjuring movie out every damn year. The one next year is out on fucking PBS or something. They're on like every streaming channel you can think of.
PBS, the Al Qaeda streaming app. Black Phone 2. I'm actually like okay with that. It doesn't need a sequel, but I mean, I
like the first Black Phone, but I don't know how would you do a sequel to that.
Man, they'll do a sequel to anything.
Is it a prequel?
Probably.
Telling the backstory.
Let's see. Is it a prequel? The Black Phone 2 is not going to. It's a sequel. It is a sequel. So it's not a prequel. The Monkey. That's that Oz Perkins one that has to do with
Jack the
Stephen King. And probably the most anticipated film I know for you of 2025 is going to be Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Yes. Matthew Lillard's Dreamy.
But yeah.
All right. So. Did you?
All right.
Sounds like fun. There's a good one here. We were talking about this. Are we going to see Nosferatu this Christmas? It comes out on Christmas Day.
Yes. I'm not going to see it on Christmas Day, but I will see it in the theater though.
That movie's it's going to bomb.
It's going to bomb.
Hard.
It will.
It's not
because
number
one, Nosferatu movies never do well. It doesn't matter. Like, in general, vampire movies, except Twilight, don't do that good. But the release date of this is not helping it at all.
The McPherson tape. Have you ever seen it, Uncle Bill?
I've never seen it.
I mean, I think it's worth watching one time, but it's one of those movies that there's not much rewatchability to it. For its time, it was pretty inventive, I think, the way that they did it. There's a remake of it too, but I haven't seen the remake.
Let's see here. What the fuck is werewolves? They're wolves. Their castle.
No idea.
Several people are asking, this is killer. I'll take the Elle McPherson tape.
I would take that too. If it's from back in like 1986.
No, I never saw that, Davy Collins.
I'm catching up with Crater. He says that Brothers and Martin switched to Dairy Queen when I was 3 or 4.
He remembers it though. He's got a photographic memory of that time period.
Fucking druthers. I did order direct from Massacre Video. So if we have problems, I did order a couple of DVDs too. They had like some of their DVDs for $5. Black Devil Doll from Hell was one that I ordered because I'd never seen that, and Tales from the Quadred Zone. Both $5.
Saturn Video's got a good question. He says, "How spicy do you like your food?" Carolina Reaper. See, there's a threshold where it goes from being like good and spicy to where it's just painful to fucking eat to me. Like Carolina Reaper is too hot, man. Like once you get up to that point, I don't think that's fun or like adds anything to it. That's just like blow your asshole out kind of hot.
That's like online dares. You should only be recording something for like fucking Instagram if you're eating that shit. Just like, oh, I'm fine.
I'm doing great. Like that one guy, no reaction.
Fuck. You know that shit's bullshit too, because the quick edits and everything. Have you seen those videos that these people do? Like,
Yep.
They eat like an aquarium full of fucking macaroni and cheese or something like that.
Yep.
But it's all edited. It's bullshit.
It is.
Like,
There's a
people
bunch.
that fucking dumb.
Yes, there are a bunch of people that dumb, and they're usually kids. That's who that's targeted to. But there's a bunch of guys that do that and have like millions of views too. Like, I'm going to eat 50 Whoppers, and it's like, no, you're not, asshole.
Dude, we need to. We got to have a video go viral because we need some more subscribers. Okay. We need to find an aquarium and get something to fill it up that actually looks like shit. And we eat an aquarium full of shit.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Look here, Wolves. Look here. Oh, shit. It's Metal Man. He says, "Since I've been a good metalhead this year, can Santa West make a special visit and jingle my balls?"
He did resubscribe to our Patreon page. So maybe
Holy
we're back in his good graces. Although, I'm going to tell you, Metal Man, that group that calls themselves Pantera that's out there.
Here we go again with this shit.
That's fucking shameful. Dimebag Darrell would not approve. Neither would Vinnie Paul. They would both be like, "Well, that ain't fucking Pantera. Come on now."
I like them. I think they're a good band.
The mayor's never heard of Druthers. You missed out, man.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather listen to like any of the new version of Pantera versus like Andy
Tail. That's right. That was their mascot, Andy Dandy Tail.
Oh God. Werewolves. Bulls, there must be some kind of buzz around werewolves movie.
We finally got a question about Beyonce.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to deny Beyonce is a beautiful woman. Ain't nobody can fucking deny. If you're trying to deny that, you're full of shit, because she is. She's good looking. But I fucking hate Beyonce. Like, just all of her music fucking sucks. Like, she did a country album.
Listen, you're going to get us fucking killed if you say, don't you know about Beyonce? Like, if you say anything bad about Beyonce, like, she cancels you and your career and your life eventually. Like, you end up dying.
I love Beyonce then. She's great.
That's right.
She's my
I think
African
Beyonce
queen.
is, one of the greatest artists of all time. I don't dare say anything bad about her. Let's see.
I just find it fun. I think that's the very first time anybody's ever asked about Beyonce. We finally got there after about 10 different Ask Us Anything streams.
Real quick, are you ready for this question? This is the question of the night right here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. How the fuck did I get in there? The questions moved so quick that I didn't like. It moved beyond where I got it. Anyway, the question was, have you gotten your packs of the Farmer cards?
Trading cards. The Farmer.
Have you gotten any?
No, we should.
We need to.
We should buy some cards of the Farmer.
Cards. But also this question is a good question too. What's your theory on the United Healthcare CEO assassination that happened in broad daylight and is in no way related to a conspiracy theory?
I didn't know anything about it. I don't watch the news.
if Mark was watching that on the news or if he saw any of that today, then I guarantee Mark was like writing in a notebook. He's like, December 5th, they've come up with another conspiracy and killed another CEO. He's got like shit taped to the wall with strings and shit going to it.
It's
It is
good.
wild though, man. He gets fucking like the CEO is walking down the street, the guy comes out with a gun and just like shoots him in the back like 5 times, walks over top of him and just leaves.
Wow.
Nobody stopped him. He just fucking walked away.
It's wild. Money Saving with Mimi, what was your favorite Christmas present you got as a child?
I think
We may have answered this.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think I said my Nintendo when I got my Nintendo. Like, that was a game changer. The original NES.
I tell you, one of the ones that I remember the most was the fucking Kung Fu. That's one of those like core memories that I have, where it's like I was at my grandmother's house and she had bought me Kung Fu for the original NES, and like I'd been marking the hell out wanting that so bad.
I love that game too. Yeah.
Man, it was just like to have. People don't realize like at that point in time that was like the height of technology. That would be like the equivalent of what, like if somebody gave you like a $500 VR headset or something today, was like, that's what you got for Christmas. Like getting a Nintendo game was like insane back in 85, 86.
Just listening to that game be played was fucking therapeutic. I don't know what it was, but like the sound effects, like the music in it, like ding 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 ding. And you hear that. Yeah. And there's like a shitty, they're walking up the steps. I can't even. Yeah. Did you notice it's the same laugh that Soda Popinski did in Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
That makes sense. They probably just used the same sound effect.
Right.
There's so many questions, man.
Keith Stofferson. We're just going to rapid fire them because we're
just
never
go
going to
ahead,
get through them. Yeah, we're close to 200 people in here, and they're burning it up. Which Blu-ray label's pissing you off the most right now?
That's a good question. Well, currently, Vinegar Syndrome to me. Who else has been like active lately?
Scream Factory, just because they're fucking sorry, man. What pisses me off more about them is everybody within the community is still fucking licking their ass.
Really? I don't see that many people that even like Scream Factory anymore.
Yeah.
Like most people have basically just come to the realization that they're never going to do anything except re-release shit in 4K. That sucks, really.
We do both own the Psycho Collection 1 through 4 from Arrow. It's a great set. What you got?
What the fuck, Bill? When I watched it, I'm watching. What? Hold on.
You're not sure if we can play that or not?
Bill, I asked you a question, and I guess it was taken down. Bill, when I watched Dead, I'm Watching You. I hope that we are cool. I think we're cool.
We don't take shit down.
We don't. Yeah, we didn't take anything down. Not on purpose, anyway. Let's see. I don't think either one of us really have a favorite Christmas song.
Did we ever review Don't Open Till Christmas? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I
love it though.
I did watch it. I think we may have talked about it when we did that Tears for Fears Christmas episode last year. I think that may have been the closest we ever came to actually reviewing it.
Probably. That's not even a real question to me. Buddy, I've never ever understood Korn. Even when Korn was out, like I didn't understand Korn when it was like a big deal.
I like corn on the cob. What are you talking about?
Fucking cream corn, but like
corn pudding.
The idea of that like was one of the dumbest ideas to me ever that you would have like a guy playing a drop D fucking chord and then somebody about like that was the song. Okay.
Iron.
What the fuck? No.
Dude, like, I'm not kidding. Iron Maiden, fucking, their guitar players, which they've got a couple, right? I'm not sure. Do they still have the same band now or not?
Yeah,
I think
as
they
far
do.
as I know.
But like, technically, I just don't see how you could even compare those two bands.
You really shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it is what some people like it shit, I guess. Like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The 7-string guitars and shit, they can fucking stick them up their ass.
let's see.
Jerry L don't like McDonald's. I've heard Rambo, he puts McDonald's over. That's like his favorite fast food, he says. I don't, look, I don't have McDonald's very often. I guess that's why I don't hate it so much. My wife eats it all the time, so she never wants it whenever we're on the road or whatever and getting something. We always get like Wendy's or Chick-fil-A if there's one of those. But like, yeah, she has it all the time. She hates it. I think you have it all the time because your kids like it, right?
No, I don't eat McDonald's at all anymore. Like they get it because they like the Happy Meals, but like I do not ever eat McDonald's. Like there's a point there a couple years back where like they were getting it, and I like would eat. I just got so burnt out, man. I don't like anything that they make.
Interesting. Not even the McRib, huh?
No, especially not the McRib. This is cool though, man. I want to talk to you about this anyway. I don't know if you've seen this, like floating around on YouTube. So the drummer for Primus just quit. Like didn't really give any explanation or anything like that. He just literally quit one day. And then they're holding like open auditions. So you can go on YouTube and just type in like Primus audition, and there's tons of drummers that are doing like renditions of their songs. And it's actually pretty killer. Like some of them are amazing. Like because Primus is actually a pretty complex band for bass and drums. I don't know how it is for guitar, but like, and to see like some of that stuff be played by other people is pretty cool.
Well, do we have a favorite wrestling documentary?
It has to be the Bret Hart one, man. Like, there's nothing really even close, is there?
I like Beyond the Mat. Like that's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, I don't think I could say any other one than Wrestling with Shadows.
There's a lot of like underground ones too. Like I've seen many, like the world class one that WWE did a DVD for, the Triumph and Tragedy or something like that. That's a killer one. Like as far as the in-house WWE stuff that they've done, that might be one of the better ones that they did.
Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, I don't know. I've seen shit ton of wrestling documentaries.
I pray to God this is true. This one. Imagine my embarrassment when my sister dated the Korn bass player, and she also went out with Carrot Top and the Dallas Weatherman. What an odd array of people to go out with. You remember Carrot Top is fucking scary looking now too, by the way.
Yeah, hasn't he got like a wrestler's physique or something?
Yeah, he's like roided up,
yeah.
and his eyebrows are painted on, and he just looks like an old woman, but with like it's the most bizarre thing.
Let's see here. Where's that? All right, this is an interesting one from Phil here. What are some 80s horror movies that you guys actually don't like?
God, there's a lot of them, honestly. Final Exam immediately comes to mind.
That Scream 81, Lord.
Yep. What's the one? Last Slumber Party. What's the other one that we talked about around that same time?
Tarantine Killer.
Tarantine Killer. There's that fucking horrible What's that one? Oh God, the clown one.
Uh,
Uh, Terror on Tour.
oh yeah,
That's an
yeah.
awful movie.
There's like a shit ton that are pretty much unwatchable,
Yeah,
really. But a lot of
I'll
them aren't
be
out, I don't think.
I'll be honest with you too. There's a lot of bad '80s Giallo films too. Like I don't even know where to really begin, but there's quite a few that are pretty bad and boring. Um, there's some great ones, but there's a lot of shit to wade through.
The Mexican Chuck. Yeah, that was Vinegar Syndrome. Didn't they do like the? It's not really Chucky, but it's like a killer little clown thing. It's a Mexican movie.
The what's that one called?
It's some sort of Mexican name. I can't pronounce it.
It's like yeah,
El Glacias de Crusties.
Enrique Iglesias.
All right.
Uh,
Best Shout Factory release ever. Shout or Scream Factory release ever.
yeah,
I would have to
yeah.
say the Halloween box set, the Blu-ray set that they did.
I would either pick that one or Creep Show. I think that edition of Creep Show that they released was amazing. Just on Blu-ray too. I don't even have well, I have the 4K now. I've got the Steelbook, but yeah.
They did a lot of great shit around that same time period, man. I mean, we talked a lot of mad shit about them, but they did do a great job on some of those releases. So even the Nightbreed set was very nice. It was a very nice set for the time period it came out. But anymore, I mean, they're regressing. What are they doing now? Just standard, like, fucking cereal box slipcovers.
Yeah.
And charging $40 a pop.
I can name you a bunch of my favorite drummers. Bill Bruford, Billy Cobham, Dave Weckl, Dave Lombardo,
Mickey D.
Mickey D's great. He is great.
What about
Who's
Nico?
more? Nico's good. I mean, Nico has one style that he just does, like that gallop style, but he does it really, really well.
What about Bill Ward, man?
I think, I was going to say, I think Bill Ward might be one of the most underrated guys that nobody ever like puts in the same league as like, Neil Peart or anything like that.
What about Phil Collins?
Have you ever I know that's a joke, but like
No, like I've actually heard people say that like he was really, really fucking killer back in the day.
there's a video on YouTube I was watching of him where it's like one take of him laying down a track, like a drum track for that song, one of that Christmas song. I don't remember which one it was, or one of those Feed the Poor or Feed the Hungry song. I don't know, something like that. And like, yeah, man, he was a really, really solid drummer. Like, people say whatever they want now, but he was really, really good back in the day. There's a lot. I would say Nick Menza was great for Megadeth. Jesus, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's not great. I'll tell you who gets a lot of shit now that really makes me mad, because like he was one of the pioneers, and like there'd probably be millions of less people playing drums. Like Lars gets all the shit in the world now, man. People are like, oh, he can't play, and they show these clips of him in concert. Well, yeah, he's like 60 years old now almost, so yeah, he can't play like he did. But back in the day of like Master of Puppets and Injustice for All, like he was creating ways to play the like metal that nobody had ever done. I just get so tired of people being like, he ain't well the shit. Well, motherfucker, like, everybody you like now, they came from that.
Right. And
that's where they came from.
What other band doing that style of music can sell out stadiums? There's not another band that can do that. There he is. Well, unless Iron Maiden can do it in fucking Brazil and Germany and shit. But like here in the United States, Metallica is pretty much the only band that can sell out fucking like stadiums and shit, like metal band. So
It just
I
just aggravates me that there's a whole like the
they could
internet's
talk
really stupid.
they could talk the awful shit ever was, and I mean he doesn't give a fuck. I wouldn't care.
I'm sure he doesn't care. He's got like $1 billion.
Yeah. Black Peter wants to know our thoughts on the 2000 smash hit Hollow Man.
Oh, the
Paul
Kevin
Verhoeven.
Bacon classic. I think it's better than The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, the most recent Invisible Man, that movie won't worth the fuck. Fuck that shit. That scene with Elizabeth Shue makes it better than that movie.
I remember you really liked that movie when it came out.
I
'Cause
saw
we
it.
watched it over at your house, like when you got the DVD of it.
I saw it in the theater, and I was just really kind of blown away by it. Like, special effects at the time, too, is really, really good.
Yeah.
You know?
He's gonna push.
I was thinking about that the other day, just how many like horrible ideas Vince came up with. It's amazing. Which Argento movie have you watched the most?
Probably Suspiria, I think. That would be the one that I've seen. Suspiria and Phenomena and Deep Red, like those three.
I would add Tenebrae in there, and that would be all the same.
What's the one that you've watched the least? Like out of not all Argento, but like the classic Argento stuff like that everybody goes on about.
Probably a lot of the early stuff, like Bird with the Crystal Plumage and like Cat of Nine. I've watched Cat of Nine Tails more than Bird with the Crystal Plumage, or like Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Like those are probably the ones I've watched the least.
I would say Inferno's one that I've watched.
I've watched
Like
the first 20 minutes of Inferno like 100 times, but the rest of it I just
Yeah, only like maybe I've only seen Inferno maybe 3 times.
Yeah. I can completely understand that.
Who was the Kentucky horror host of the 60s, 70s, and 80s? Well, man, how old do you think we fucking are?
Who was the Kentucky Horror? Well, iZombie was one of the ones from like what 2000s.
Yeah, late
He was
90s,
probably
early 2000s.
the most famous one from here, wasn't he?
Well, he was in Lexington. He was the Lexington horror host. But like here in Eastern Kentucky, we didn't have anything like that. Like the closest thing that we had was Mr. Cartoon that was in Charleston, West Virginia.
Yep.
And he was a weatherman that did like a, cartoon studio show. But they didn't have, I don't think there was a horror host in this area at all when we were growing up.
What I want to know is when did Day of the Dead go from being considered Romero's first weak zombie film to now being held as some kind of masterpiece? I've told this story before, but I can remember like watching that movie with my dad as a kid, and he hated it, and he was like too many people yelling and too many people cursing, and he said like nothing.
Did your dad ever change his mind about Day of the Dead?
I don't think so. I think he always hated it. Like, but I'm not sure when that shift happened, man. I guess it was like DVD, right around the DVD era, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I remember for a long time, everybody did think that was like his worst film in terms of the zombie movie. And then all of a sudden, they got this huge kind of like where people were saying it's the best zombie film. I think it's because of the effects that they say that too. But like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know when it changed.
I'm not sure either because like another movie that's like that is Halloween 3, where it was hated for many years. And I can kind of pinpoint when that changed. But yeah, with Day of the Dead, it had to have been in probably the early 90s. Like, didn't they cover Day of the Dead in that Document of the Dead documentary? What year did that come out?
Oh, shit. I have no idea.
Early 90s, maybe? Or
I've got that, but I can do.
I mean, maybe fans saw that and kind of, because there was some shots. I know the shot with Pilato and they're pulling his guts apart and everything, that was in that. So maybe that caused people. I don't know though. I'm not sure on that one. Good question.
I really feel like that's a movie though that like hinges on one or two performances that if they weren't in that movie, that would be a really awful film. Like imagine that movie without Pilato, and like it would not work at all.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one character that kind of holds everything together, kind of, really. Because, I mean, there are, like, you know, Clark's character, all right. But, like, all of the babyface characters in it, like Sarah and the,
Jamaican dude.
yeah, like, they're kind of, I think Sarah's all right. But, like, the other two are, like, just fucking jabronis.
Jarlath Conroy, I think is his name, the Irish guy or
Terry
whatever.
Alexander. The Jamaican guy, man. Oh, ho, ho.
It's really, yeah, it's not good. Most disappointing release of the year, physical media wise. Wow.
Wouldn't you say maybe Martin?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask if that came out this year.
I think that was early this year.
If it did, then that would be it for me too.
Because a Second Sight did the best with what they had, but that fucking cocksucker Richard Rubenstein has the negatives, and he wouldn't do business, man. I mean, that's basically what happened, and that's why, unless it's some sort of authorized release through him, it'll probably never look any better than that. And hell, he hasn't released Dawn of the Dead in the United States in fucking, what has it been, 15 years?
Yeah.
Or 16 years or whatever.
Yeah,
So
whenever
what's
the hell that Ultimate Edition came out, yeah.
It'll be whenever Richard Rubenstein dies is when his family will, like, cut loose, and you'll finally have all this shit. But until then, I mean, it's not going to happen, doesn't look like.
I'll bet some of those Jaws 4Ks are on people's list too, and probably some of those fucking Cameron
Jaws 3.
4Ks too.
I did hear that the Terminator 4K is pretty badass, though, so I want to try to get that.
Yeah, I've heard the same.
I'm a big fan of the Terminator, especially if you go in at it and look at it like an early 80s slasher movie, which is essentially kind of what it was. Really, I mean, just go into it without knowing anything about what would come on later with the big budget sequels, you know.
I want you to answer this one because I'm curious. I mean, we both will, but I definitely want to know your opinion. Top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time.
My favorite, so that's not necessarily
Not the best.
the best,
just
right?
your favorite, yeah.
My personal favorite, my favorite of all time is Hulk Hogan. It always has been. It's the one I grew up with. People don't like his politics. People don't like, he's fucking full of shit. He lies all the time or whatever else. I still think that there was never anybody more over as a wrestler ever than Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Like, that was the most, I think everybody in the entire world knew who he was. Also a big fan of the Macho Man. Had he come along any other time than when Hulk Hogan was there, he would have had the same run as Hogan had. Right, unfortunately, but those two guys were, the same time. Dusty Rhodes. What can you say about Dusty Rhodes? Probably the best talker.
Yeah.
Yeah. That there ever was in wrestling. Rob Van Dam was another one that was one of my favorites of all time, too. Just did some crazy shit that nobody had ever seen before. He should have been a bigger star. I think he was world champion at one time, but he should have had a better run than that. And who else? What am I at, 4?
Let's see. You said Hogan, Savage, Dusty, and Rob Van Dam, right?
Yeah. We could go with Ric Flair. Ric Flair is just totally not. He is not doing himself any favors today. But back in the day, man, one of the most entertaining guys to watch, especially if you watch some of those old tapes. He knew how to fucking piss people off better than anybody. And it's fucking just entertaining or whatever. Yeah. Like, I used to love how he would point somebody out in the crowd and say, "You shut up, fat boy."
He did that. And he had the other gimmick too, where he would be like, he could kiss any woman and make them cry, even that fat one. Point at him.
He didn't give a shit.
Oh God, Ric Flair's a dickhead though. That's true. I mean, in real life, like from what I can understand, if he's like drunk, especially, like he's a fucking asshole. Anyway, that's a good list though. I would go with Bret Hart. Definitely Macho Man. I think the two guys that cut the best promos ever were probably Macho Man and Dusty. And then you could follow that up maybe with Piper's promos were great. Jake the Snakes were great. There's a lot of guys that were.
I always thought that Sid's promos were really great too. Like
Sid's were completely different than anybody else's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. He'd scare the fuck out of you.
He really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So let's go with Hart. Let's go with Savage. Let's go with I'm trying to think anybody from the modern era, but there's not anybody really that great. Because we're in the 80s and 90s, really.
Yeah.
I gotta say Stone Cold's in there somewhere, man. Because that was like the biggest thing when we were getting back into wrestling was him. There's so many good ones. So let's put $1 Million Man in there and say fuck it on that one. I think that as a performer, he was great. He wasn't a good wrestler, but as a performer, he was amazing. And then finally, let's go with probably one of the most underrated dudes ever, Arn Anderson.
I thought you was going to say Virgil.
Virgil is completely underrated.
Norris Tape 7, this is just for Uncle Bill. If we were told that we were going to get one horror movie released in 4K in 2025, and it'd be your choice, what horror movie would we be adding to our collections?
One 4K.
One horror movie in 4K.
2025. We just mentioned it. It's one of the most obvious ones that doesn't have a 4K in the U.S. that I know of, which was Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. They don't have a 4K anywhere.
Yep.
At least maybe Second Sight or somebody could do it overseas, but I don't know what the deal is there. Synthetic, what would you guys prefer for a Christmas watching between Silent Night, Deadly Night, Krampus, or Santa Claus? Lord.
Damn. I'd go with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yeah.
It definitely would be Krampus. I think I just watched that last year, and that movie's fucking terrible. Santa Claus does have some fucking 1996 Debbie Rochon titties in it, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true.
So that one might be a possibility.
We got 2 super chats, by the way.
Oh,
Fester's Quest says, "Choppy choppy your pee-pee." Thank you for that.
Yeet.
And Bronson says, "Could you imagine Tim Curry as Beetlejuice?" Yeah, I actually could.
I think he would have done pretty good with it.
I think early 90s and mid 90s Tim Curry was great. I think he could have done pretty much anything at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be interesting, though, if you could turn back at time, if you could only find a way.
Let's see.
I'm very behind on this.
Strikes me as a Snitsky mark. Yeah. I loved when he kept coming out there saying it wasn't his fault. I like that era. Snitsky.
Mozart's Ghost. Did you used to hunt around your house for Christmas gifts as a kid?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I really did. I think my dad always kept Christmas gifts in the trunk of the car or something like that. He never even got them out until a night before or something like that.
Let's see. Huh. Okay. This is a good one. Lethal Weapon or Die Hard for action Christmas movie? If you were to pick.
I'd have to go with Die Hard, I believe.
I would too.
It's been a long time since I've seen Lethal Weapon, but Die Hard just, I don't know, it just brings more of the action, in my opinion.
This is another one of those questions that's killer. Hold on.
All right.
This was rhetorical kind of question. If you could end homelessness by blowing Mark Henry, but you got to cuddle with Mia Goth after, would you?
Jeez.
I think people have to remain homeless.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that.
No. I just think like an act like that would just haunt me for the rest of my life if I ever actually did
It
something
wouldn't
like
be worth it. You'd just be like
Yeah.
in a fetal position crying.
Yeah.
All right. Name a band that you like that we would be surprised to hear you like.
I don't know if people would be surprised because, like, everybody knows that I listen to like a lot of old school country shit. What
Yeah.
would be something different though? Like,
What's something that deep, dark in the cackles of your heart that you really like that nobody knows?
I don't know, man. I really have no idea. Like anything that people would be shocked that I liked. Maybe Ricky Skaggs.
No, I would totally think you like Ricky
Ricky Skaggs and
Skaggs. I
Kentucky
would
Thunder.
100% think you like that. I like the fucking Bee Gees. I think that they were really good songwriters and really good, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm stumped with Mike B's a band that would surprise people that I liked. I don't know.
Yeah.
You've stumped me, Mike B.
Does everyone like the fucking Bee Gees, Matt? I didn't know that was a
I
thing.
don't think like the people like hate upon the Bee Gees. It's not like fucking I don't know. Well, I would think of like all the bands that Garrett likes, like fucking NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block and shit. Now that's kind of embarrassing to say you like that shit. That's just me. Unless you're a fucking girl. Like Garrett liked New Kids on the Block when he was a fucking kid. I'm not shitting you, boys. In Eastern Kentucky, there was no dudes that openly said that they like New Kids on the Block when we were in elementary school. That didn't exist.
Oh God, Chris Gaines. No, nobody liked Chris Gaines. Let's be honest. I agree with you though. There's really none of those bands that I legitimately would say I liked, like NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys. Like none of that shit. New Kids on the Block. You ain't no way.
Do you like liver and onions?
No, I really don't.
I don't think I've ever tried it. Do you
I
like
don't.
liver and onions, Sarah?
Buddy, something about the texture of liver is some of the worst shit ever.
Is liver really liver? Is it like
Chicken livers usually, yeah.
I couldn't do that now.
Liver out of a chicken or beef.
Yep.
Beef liver.
Blech.
I couldn't do that now.
Hell no.
It tastes like blood, baby.
Don't you remember when Lay's used to have that? They had fried chicken livers.
My mom used to get the fried chicken livers
Oh,
and stuff.
wow.
I don't think I ever tried it. Ever.
It's giving me the creeps just thinking about it. Ugh.
I do like
When-
gizzards, though.
What do you like?
Gizzards.
Gizzards?
You know what gizzards are?
What?
It's what holds the chicken's shit up in it.
Oh, do you like chewing on chicken shit?
Sure.
So great.
You know, one time though, I don't know if I told Sarah this, because we were at Columbia's in Lexington. And you know how my dad used to always just fucking aggravate the shit out of me, texting me just random shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Get me an order of lamb fries." And I'm like, "What the hell?" I mean, I can, because we were going right home after that. Right? And you know what lamb fries are, Sarah? Lamb testicles, baby. They fry
Lamb
'em up.
balls.
Yeah, they fry them up.
Ate that?
Yeah.
Gross as hell.
I mean, I think that he didn't really want to. He didn't think I'd bring them back. I just
Thought
I
you knew what they were, yeah. He ain't gonna do that.
But yeah.
I
was like, because we were riding in the car, and I was like, man, them things smell odd. Like that. What in the hell is that shit? Right? And this was like right before like smartphones and shit, I think.
That's a good idea, though, Cody. We should do a whole show where we just review all of his shitty movies. But I wouldn't want to give him any fucking publicity, so.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to torture myself.
It's true. Here's another good question, wrestling related. Top 5 Hogan opponents. Go.
Top 5 Hogan opponents. Okay. Andre the Giant.
Definitely.
Got to be up there at the top. Rowdy Roddy Piper. It's another big one.
Earthquake. I'm going to give you a hot take. I think one of them was Earthquake.
Yeah, I think Earthquake was a good one. King Kong Bundy, man, I gotta go with Bundy as well, because that whole push where Bundy put him in the hospital and all that when I was a kid, that fucked me up. Well, we need one more.
You know what the other one is. It's got to be.
What?
The Warrior.
Yeah, you could go with that. That was a pretty good little, I don't know if it's a feud, but.
I mean, people say what they want to about that now, but I can still remember that vividly from when it happened. Like, I watched it on pay-per-view and, like, over at somebody else's house because we didn't have pay-per-view. But, like, it was just one of those things, like, that was so crazy at the time because you never saw two faces. You just did not see that.
Why did it take Prestonsburg so long to get pay-per-view?
I don't know.
Because I remember, like, for Christmas one year, this was like an early Christmas gift. I was hardcore into wrestling around this time. This is like the fall of '96. And I was like, all I want for Christmas is DirecTV. Like, I was like, just get DirecTV. So DirecTV was, I think it'd been around for a year or two, but was crazy expensive when it first came out. And then within a year or two, Cablevision, which is what we had here in Prestonsburg, got pay-per-view. And do you remember how the early pay-per-view was from them? Like, it was so fucking archaic, man.
I don't actually.
It was like this little plug that you would use, much like an RF modulator or something like that, where you would plug your cable in and it would go through this plug and plug it into your TV. And that's how you got it. You had to turn it to a certain channel.
That's killer.
Yeah, it's some old school shit. Oh, yeah.
I miss those days. I'd like to go back there. We do have hush puppies. That is a thing here.
Long John Silver's has hush puppies.
People usually, like, anytime you go eat fish, like the lodge or anything like that, they have hush puppies. So pretty much anytime anybody has catfish, you're going to get hush puppies.
I love catfish too. Yeah. You know something I would like to try?
God damn it, Carter.
You get 2 out of what Garrett need last year? 200.
Yeah, something crazy.
He needed 200.
Let's see.
I'm just scrolling through and looking for question marks, Bull. So if you ain't leaving question marks, you're wasting your time.
Oh, yeah, I did forget. We forgot about the Macho Man
What?
as being one of Hogan's opponents.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was a good one, too, for sure. The mega powers explode, yeah. How do y'all eat your steak? That's a good question.
I'm going to say it. You're not going to like it, but it's just the truth of the matter. I get my steak medium well.
Well, at least it's not fucking charred. That's how Sarah gets hers.
No, I
It's
can't do well
crunchy.
done. I can't do
Fucking
it. Shit.
crunchy. Do you like a thick steak or a thin steak?
Depends on what kind of steak it is. But for like, let's just say you're getting like a sirloin or something, like I would prefer it to be a thick cut sirloin.
Do y'all ever go to Sam's Club?
No.
You should see the size of them fucking steaks they have in Sam's Club. Do you know what a tomahawk ribeye is, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Buddy, I fucking shit you not. Like, they're like $40 a steak. Damn thing's like that thick. Like, it's fucking like, you could really chop a damn tree down with that thing. It is a tomahawk for real.
Jackson Jack top 5 coked out promos. That'd be all of them be Macho Man. Maybe like one Roddy Piper one in there.
Oh, gosh. Pizza with ketchup.
Shit.
Ketchup pizza sauce. Like, I'm
Pizza,
confused.
ketchup pizza.
It's-
That was
Instead of pizza sauce, you use ketchup. I don't think that'd be too good.
Please don't do that.
Man, I'm fucking way behind on this
This
shit.
is true too. Look at this. Hold on.
What's that?
I remember this. Why is every dining room those shows always covered in grease? Because
Do
their
you-
food's covered in grease,
Do
probably.
you remember though? At one point in time, like when we were kids, Long John Silver's was like a nice sit-down restaurant, right? That's at least how I saw it. Like it seemed like it was like, oh, it's a fancy place that you went in and you got those little captain hats put on. You remember those?
Yeah, but it's like the pirate hats or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But
They're
like-
pirate hats.
Do you think it's just when we were kids, like we thought like any restaurant you went and sat down in was like legitimate? Like I'm not sure if that may be just like because we're that age, like because I thought that the fucking bar at Wendy's was like the height of dining at that point in time, the super bar.
This is a good one right here from the mayor. Who has the worst smelling farts? CK, UB, or Danielle Harris?
Definitely Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
I bet she stripped the paint off the wall.
Yeah, it's almost like it hurts to breathe in when she farts near you.
Yep.
It's like tear gas almost.
You melt like that fucking RoboCop.
You
You're
melt
around
like the dude at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It looked like Jay Reel.
You make that noise too. Try to scream.
My eyeballs are melting. Does Tool
shit.
sell out stadiums?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Buddy, if you ever want to talk about a band that I do not, you ever have like that band that everybody always talks about and you just don't, you never listen to it, you don't understand. Tool is that band. Like I've heard a couple of their songs and I'm like, I do not understand this. Why people like mark the fuck out for them. I just don't. It's one of those things that their music will not enter into my brain. I hear it and it's just like noise. It just, I don't know. I can't get into it.
This is an interesting one here from Phantaz Matt. Do you think Suspiria suffers from style over substance? He says it's
Yes.
still great though.
I 100% do, because if you really sit down and listen to the dialogue that's in Suspiria, it's fucking ridiculously stupid. Like it was written, the dialogue was written because he originally had planned to do it as like for young teenage girls
Mhm.
at like a boarding school for like, 14 to 16-year-old girls. So if you watch it with the dialogue like that, it kind of makes sense. But like with everybody being an adult, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Death Dream 1974. You're a big fan of that one, the Bob Clark.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Death Dream. Yeah. I think it's way ahead of its time. And I'm kind of surprised that a lot of Bob Clark's movies have been remade, but they haven't touched that one yet. And that one would totally work today.
Death Dream is one of those movies that's like, you talk about like subtext. I mean, it's got a whole underlying story about coming back from war and all that stuff in it. Bob Clark was kind of a genius, though, man. Like, people don't give that guy any credit.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, had a hit in multiple genres of movies too. You had comedies, you had family movies, horror movies.
Super chat from Antonis Andradius. What is your guys' favorite horror movie making of and or documentary? God damn, man. There's like a ton of them, though, is the problem.
Horror making of documentary. One of my favorites, even though it's like, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I've seen it as much as any other horror documentary. It's that Document of the Dead that Roy Fromkes did.
That was a good one, yeah.
Because, like, a lot of it, I can't remember what year that came out. Like, I think it was in the 90s. But he followed George Romero around, starting with Dawn of the Dead. A lot of that footage had never been seen up to that point. So it was just kind of cool seeing it almost, the making of a lot of Romero's movies, or parts of them at least. So that's a really good one. What's some other good ones?
Well, now that he mentions it, I can't think of any. But, like, I mean, the ones that were really big, like when we were doing the show, were those Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street mega documentaries that lasted like 3 or 4 hours long. I didn't think those were particularly that well put together, though. I mean,
No.
they were in depth, I guess, but like,
We always put over Dave Parker and Mike Mendez did this documentary that never had an official physical release, but I think it's on YouTube. And it was called Masters of Horror. And this was before the TV show ever came out. And I think Bruce Campbell hosted it. And it's just a good overall, horror documentary about horror movies. There's another one that's called An American Nightmare or something like that, that I think
Yeah.
IFC did. I like that one. I don't know. They used to show a lot of them on TV back in the day, and that's usually the ones that I watched multiple times. American Nightmare was the one that covered, it may have been called American Scream or American Nightmare, I don't know, but it had Shivers in it. Had a David
shiver me
Cronenberg,
timbers.
had a David Cronenberg chapter, and that's really how I kind of fell in love with Shivers. I watched it. I think you had brought the tape, and I'd seen it for the first time, and I've always been a big mark for that movie ever since then.
Oh, let's see. Um,
I'm crazy behind.
Ragnar says, "Where's Uncle Bill's elf hat?" It's an interesting.
Yeah, where's
question.
it at, buddy? Fucking
I did
elf
have an
hat
elf
at.
hat at one time or another that I had.
Shit,
I don't know what happened to it.
I've got a little fucking horror tree back there. You see it? It's got lights and everything.
He's got it lit up. It's a whole tree.
Yeah. Terry Funk. Somebody mentioned him. I guess they were talking about it. Terry Funk promos.
Yeah.
He was another one that was really good.
You
Foley,
son
good
of a
promo.
bitch. You fucking dog.
Slide your ass.
Bob Clark's final movie, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses. Super Babies 2.
He was working on a movie
That's
with.
true.
I think he may have been just producing it. It was some sort of supermodel movie or something. Like, it didn't have. Oh God, what was her name? Denise Richards was in it, and somebody else.
Oh,
Like, he was
God.
talking when we interviewed him. He was talking about that, but I don't know if it ever came out.
Yeah, I've already pre-ordered that. Did you pre-order it?
I did. I actually ordered Nutbag as well
Did you get Nutbag? Okay, well,
'Cause
fuck,
I'd
you went
never-
above and beyond.
I'd never seen it. I don't think we'd ever reviewed that one, so I was kind of curious about it. So, fuck it.
Nutbag.
I got Nutbag, baby, on Blu-ray now.
Look at him.
And Murder Set Pieces is a 4K, actually. So that's kind of was that the first 4K that Massacre Video ever did?
It's got to be, doesn't it? I don't remember them releasing one before that. Massacre.
That's a massacre. Good old Louis Justin, the man with 2 first names.
Did you guys pre-order from Massacre? I guess Hack-A-Lantern. Yeah, but those came out around the same time, though, didn't they?
I think I got Hack-A-Lantern from Amazon or something like that.
Hack-A-Lantern, I've got it on Blu-ray. I don't have it on 4K, though.
Yeah, I've got the Blu-ray. You don't.
You got to have Hack-A-Lantern on 4K. You ain't one of the cool kids if you don't.
I'm fine. I'm good.
Don't you want to go into credit card debt? Buy a 4K or 25.
Was I at the mall that Tiffany performed at? Which mall was that?
Huntington.
Did you ever see the Playboy issue with Tiffany in it from probably about 15 years ago? Let you say, baby, she's a natural redhead, if you will.
That's good to know. What's the most you'll spend on a single film? Bottom line it.
Man, I think probably the Trick or Treat price, like $70. And it's got to be something that's either never come out that I've always wanted or like one of my favorite movies. That's the only way I would go that far. Like Never Ending Story I contemplated, but that would have been easily the highest that I ever spent on a release. And it's a gigantic, like, did you see the size of it? The one that Imprint's doing or whatever?
Yeah.
It's fucking gigantic.
It's like the size of like the 10 Commandments stone that is, in the Charlton Heston movie.
Like, I just don't have room to be getting big fucking items like that. So, and it was like $250.
So I think you're right, though. It's got to be like 66. How long do you think it'll be before it'll be a regular occurrence that like a movie is $100? Like one of those box sets is like $100 like that. The hard box one.
The truth is like these companies realize that there's not as many people buying this stuff. So they're going to have to just up the price on it, add some little cards to it and books and fucking prism stickers, whatever the hell else they're doing, and try to get the most bang for the amount of bucks that are out there, baby.
I think it was like, I would give it within like a year to 2 years that we'll see $100 will be like a typical big box edition.
Boiled paint. It's nastiest shit ever.
What the fuck? I've never even tried that.
Oh God.
Boiled peanuts.
No.
What?
The first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. Hell, I like peanuts and they'll be boiled. It's like a fucking, almost like a green bean is the texture when you're eating it. It's soft.
Oh God. Who the hell would eat that, man?
And it tastes terrible. It's bad. I fucking hate boiled peanuts. Something I did do though is a good road trip snack is peanuts and poured peanuts inside of a Pepsi or a Dr. Pepper when I was a kid like that.
Yeah, they used to do it with Coke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine, and also don't forget to support Dark Forces War Against Synapse Films.
Brother.
Don't forget to buy the Fama trading card set.
Did y'all forget about what Demon Dave thought of Synapse Films and the lawyers?
I'm so fucking pissed, okay? I'm fucking pissed off. After this fucking business, I'm like this fucking pussy that decided to fucking sue everybody. This fucking maggot. But any fucking maggot pussy ass bitch motherfucker, I got real big plans.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Maggot pussy ass bitch motherfucker.
Let's see.
I know you remember Long Dong Silver.
Long Dong Silver.
Okay. Now
It's a catchy name.
this is one. Did you have a favorite porn star from back in the day? Or even recent?
This is sad to say this because, like, she passed away, but it would probably be Savannah.
You liked her name.
Yeah. I mean,
That was the first one that I knew by name when I was like, I would have had to have been, 12 or 13 years old. And you had to be very secretive to get a hold of any of this shit back in the day. So, yeah, I mean, definitely.
she is in that, that naked, what's that movie? Naked, Invisible Maniac. And, dude, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, she was crazy young. Like, she passed away. She killed herself in, like, the early 90s, I think. It was like 94 or 95. But, yeah, she was one of the very early, like, upper echelon. They started, like, getting, before her, they were kind of okay. They were, like, hot neighbor types or whatever, right? But she was, like, model material, man, and they started getting more and more of those after her. So I think she tried to be an actual actress first, and then she was like, "Oh, just give me some dick."
Let's see.
Film
Hold on.
I'm sick of fucking around.
How many times would you buy a re-release of a movie?
How many copies of Evil Dead do you have?
Me?
Yeah, that should tell you. Dawn of the Dead or Evil Dead.
Wait a minute. Okay, so let's narrow this down. Do you mean like in the same format, like a Blu-ray? Like how many Blu-rays of the same movie would you buy, or how many 4Ks? Or like, are we talking about this across the board, like buying like DVDs, Blu-rays,
Like,
4Ks, all that stuff? Because to me, that's two different kind of questions.
No, I'm just saying like rebuying the same movie. It doesn't matter what format it is.
Probably it'd be Dawn of the Dead and Texas Chainsaw will be the ones that I've rebought the most. We're talking probably 5 or 6, maybe 7 different versions.
Yeah, now that you mention it, Texas Chainsaw is probably the one that I've, over the years, have multiple, like more copies of than anything else. And they're still coming out with them, man.
Halloween too, man. Like Halloween's had, I don't know how many versions of Halloween I got. But I mean, nowadays, how many would I buy like that? Like if it was like just maybe 2, 3.
Hey, Uncle Bill, have you tried bacon donuts? Maple bacon donuts, I think.
No, I have not, but that sounds delicious.
Fucking good, man. Holy shit. Good. You got the sweet and the crispy and salty all together, baby. What about, this is an interesting tech question here. What are your thoughts on 8K technology and the possibility of an 8K disc for 70 millimeter or IMAX films?
I just remember what Slippy said about this, and I think that it's really true. Like once you get up to a certain point, like it becomes less and less noticeable, the picture quality. So it's like at 8K, like I don't even think you'd really be able to tell that much of a difference from 4K. Mm-hmm. So I don't see what the point is.
Man, I don't see them. I think 4K is it as far as physical media goes. I would be.
Yeah, I don't think they're nothing's selling right now in 4K. They're not going to go like, let's do 8K.
Right. 4K is a very niche audience. And, up until just recently, DVD was still the number one selling format. There's a lot of people that didn't even get into Blu-ray. So that's a tough sell, man, especially for mainstream audiences. And where can you really even buy physical copies anymore? Walmart has them kind of, but the stuff is out for a week or two and then they take it back up. Like they don't keep a lot of back stock like older movies anymore. It's really,
that's true.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a hot take on this one, Dirk. I think both of those performances are annoying. Olivia Hussey in Black Christmas and Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. I think they're both annoying as hell.
Jamie Lee Curtis does have some very annoying scenes in Halloween. The one that I always go back to is keys.
Drop the keys.
There's the keys.
Did we hear that the Hawk Tuah girl? I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this. No, I didn't hear anything about it. Ripped off a bunch of people with a crypto scam.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Bad
get in,
Hawk
get the
Tuah
money, and get
girl.
out. Her 2 minutes of fame should be about done. So that was weak.
It was actually pretty good, but the microphone must not picked it up.
Cut it out. The gain boost.
The noise reduction. I honestly don't think that was purposeful. I just don't think that girl's smart enough to fucking do something like that.
Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. First YouTube video ever in 2009 mentioned how you, Uncle Dave, from DEADPIT Radio, also had an
Uncle
obsession
Dave.
with buying DVDs and Blu-rays and 4Ks and other still media available in 2009. There's like several things wrong with this sentence. Number one, there's no Uncle Dave.
Ooh, so
Unless, like, you mean Demon Dave. Number two, was 4K even out in 2009? I don't think that format existed in 2009. did it?
Blu-rays were out.
Yeah. So I don't know what in the shit you're talking about. And to be honest, I don't care.
I got to ask Dirk a question, though, because he's in here from Louisiana. Is he a fan of the shrimp bowls and the Cajun goodness down there, the crawdad? What do they call them? Crawdads?
Crawfish? Crawdad?
Crawfish.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've never really tried, like, I like seafood and all that, but I've never tried crawfish. I like crab legs. I like corn on the cob. I like taters. I like shrimp, but I've never tried them all mixed together with, like, a Cajun spicy thing. I'd like to try it sometime.
Oh, you need a jambalaya to put that ass fire in you.
Have you ever tried that, Uncle Bill? All that mix of shit together?
Let me tell you, I get out of the water with the jambalaya any time you like.
Do what?
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Where do you get it at?
Look here, Hillbilly Confidential says you can boil these nuts.
Look, buddy.
Oh, he meant to say Uncle Bill, by the way, but I still don't care.
Sony took the 8K sticker off the PS5 box. So they were planning on doing 8K with the PlayStation 5? Interesting.
Well, that is interesting.
Like 8K TVs exist, but how can you even watch anything in 8K now? Big old crab bowls. Crawfish and crawdads.
I think I'm way far behind here because I'm looking at like
Yeah, I'm
porn
caught
stars
up
too.
now, finally.
Okay. Michael Piatowski says I paid 165 Australian for Trick or Treat. Damn.
Although, Australian's dollar is like...
That's true. Is it like $50?
No, it's probably around 120 or something like that, I think, right? I don't know. I know that the Australian dollar is higher than the U.S. dollar. So, catfish, la fatiti.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Got the fish, la fatiti.
Yeah.
8K TVs, man. Yeah, I mean, I've had the same TV now for probably about a good 6 or 7 years, so I probably do need to upgrade my TV, but if you can't watch anything in 8K on it, what's the point? Unless it
That's
just becomes
true.
the
Like
standard.
I just don't give a shit, man. Like a lot of 4Ks that I watch nowadays, I just think to myself, this really doesn't look that much. It doesn't even look. Some of them don't look as good as the Blu-rays because of the color correction stuff. So fuck it.
I was watching there's a 4K of the Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And I'm like, it looks fine. You know, and there's a lot like this too. Arrow does this, Scream Factory does it. It's like Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat looked fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
Listen, motherfucker. If you don't have HDR, you ain't worth a damn anymore. You can't watch film without HDR.
What's HDR stand for? Do you know? Well, that's trivia.
High dynamic range.
Let me tell you something, baby. We're going to get up on that high dynamic range, if you will. And we're going to make everything look oh so crisp.
Let me tell you, there's nothing in the world like a tight grain field to get you going. Woo! Been listening to watching your channel for years. Have you guys ever thought about traveling around your channel to conventions and doing panels? I think DeadPit is way more than most. Well,
we've never been asked.
No, we never will either. We are not what you would call mainstream, nor are we kid friendly or appropriate in many different ways.
Yeah. You don't know what we'll say.
She ripped off people for $500 million.
Ain't no fucking way.
Damn.
Is
I
that
doubt she'll
true?
go to jail. Even if she did, I doubt she'll go to jail.
$500 million. Come on now. That don't sound right to me. I saw something on, and people are fucking stupid online. They'll believe anything. Like, they were talking about, I don't know if it was Yokozuna's birthday or what, but they were talking about his eating habits and posted like that he had like it was 240 eggs a day. I'm like, motherfucker, 240 fucking eggs a day.
How would you even have time to eat 240 eggs? That would take like all day.
240 eggs a day. No, and nobody questioned it at all. I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
that sounds right.
Fucking 240 eggs a day. Doing that one time would kill somebody probably.
Let's see. I feel like this will be a good story for you. Meanest shit you've ever taken or funniest shit story? Meanest shit you've ever taken. If you remember a specific shit you've taken, then you know it was something like special.
There was, I know you'll know what this is as soon as I start talking about it. We used to play music back, maybe pre-DeadPit days.
Oh my God, yeah.
You remember this?
Exactly where this is going, yeah.
And it was a shed behind Uncle Bill's dad's house, who was usually there. But this particular occasion, when I was like bad off, I don't know what I ate, but I was like, God, bulls, I'm going to have to do something here. I'm going to shit my pants.
Uh-huh.
And his dad wasn't home. Uncle Bill didn't have a key to get in. There was no other bathroom near there. It's in fucking Cracker Bottom. And sometimes you just have to improvise, Uncle Bill. So I did see some garbage bags and a 5-gallon bucket. And of course, I was like, buddy, won't you go outside and let me shit in this bucket? And that's what happened.
He did.
And what's funny is right after I shit, it was a big watery shit too. It wasn't like, it was some diarrhea. I fucking slung it over the hill. You remember that?
Yeah.
I slung that bag over the hill. You imagine a fucking prisoner or somebody having to pick it up or whatever.
No.
Cleaning up fucking. What about you? Any funny shit stories? I've got a lot. I don't have one
that could top like that. No, I don't have like a great shit story really. I've got a great vomit story though. Where you remember Twinkie? I may have told this story before. I can't remember, but do you remember? I think his name was Salisbury, something Salisbury. Everybody called him Twinkie though. This is back.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
this was back in like elementary school, and like I was in the bathroom just minding my own business, right? Wash my hands, open the door to leave the bathroom. I was probably in, I would say, second grade. And there's this big kid, like big, like the kid that's in like Stand By Me big. And everybody called him Twinkie. I know that's not politically correct, but that's just what kids did back in the 80s.
What is politically correct nowadays, though?
Right. And like I walked into him as he was coming in, I was going out and hit him in the stomach. And he just goes, "Ah," and threw up all over my face. And then I was kind of like stunned. So I did the dumbest thing you could do, which is I just walked outside where all the kids were, with just like puke all over my head. It was just kind of like wandering around like I just had like been in Vietnam and like, you know, was coming out of a war or something, just stumbling around. And of course, like everybody was like, what the fuck? And I'm sure some poor teacher, I don't remember how it ended, but like some poor teacher probably had like.
He passed away, didn't he? That's who you're
Yeah, he
talking about?
died. Yeah.
Yeah. And Crater's kind of on the money, but unless his first name was James, he went by another name.
What?
His actual first name.
Oh, his first name. I know his brother's name. I can't remember what his name was.
Wasn't it William?
William. Yeah.
We'll go ahead. Hell, he's fucking dead. I mean.
Yep, you're right.
But R.I.P., sir. Let's see. Well, we're at 2 hours. I mean, do you want to go a little bit longer, or what do you want to do?
It's up to you. It's
We're
actually,
caught up.
I guess it's actually up to like whatever the chat wants to do. We could call it.
Yeah, we'll take a couple more here. Hannibal TV. I never did watch it.
Is he talking about like him with the Hannibal guy,
Yeah, the
wrestler?
oh, well, I thought he was talking about the Hannibal TV show.
He might be talking about that. He's either talking about that or he's talking about that show with that piece of shit wrestler. That guy's a
the
fucking
wrestler
dumbass.
guy.
I hate that guy.
I think it was like, you know, something or another. I'm not really remembering. I think he was in the WWF in 1997. Fucking guy. That's a prime example, man, of like somebody that has 350,000 subscribers, whatever it is, and sucks ass. His shit is terrible.
Yep.
Fucking terrible.
He can't even string together a sentence, let alone do an interview. Like, but for some reason,
He's like, Abdul the Butcher infected me with hepatitis.
God, I hate that
Piece
guy.
of shit. This is a touchy subject here.
Well, I don't think it was the parents. I really don't. Especially after, like, I mean, watching that documentary, I don't think I'd thought that before anyway, but after watching that documentary, you get the idea that it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, they showed some stuff in there too that kind of changed my mind too, because I was thinking that maybe the brother could have accidentally done something, and then the parents
That was a
covered it up.
theory, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you watch you can see like the strangulation of the little girl, and there's no little kid that could have done that.
No.
No, didn't have it. I think what happened there, personally, is it was a random serial killer that, I mean, maybe he'd been stalking the little girl and then took a chance, and unfortunately, they're never going to find out who it was. There wasn't enough evidence left behind there. There is DNA, but if they have no idea who the hell it is, how are they ever going to be able to, test it?
Exactly. People forget too, because they're always like, well, they found her in the house and all this. Man, do you remember what BTK's modus operandi was, what his MO was? He would be in your house waiting for you to come home. He would hide somewhere, and when you came home, he would he would like threaten to kill everybody and then tie you up and take you somewhere and murder you. Like that's not an unusual thing for somebody like a serial killer to do. They will like they'll break into your home, wait around, and like when you come home, kill you, which is exactly what I think happened. I think somebody broke into their house, waited till they were asleep, knew what he was going to do, took her down there. Everybody else is asleep, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's a random. You know, that sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Here's a hot take from Alpha Romero. The West Memphis Three were guilty.
That's not actually, I mean, it is a hot take.
They are actually guilty. They're still convicted, and they plead innocent but pled guilty, right? That's how they got out of the, I don't know how.
Right. They had the Alfred plea. They used the Alfred plea, which is basically where you say, like, there's enough evidence to convict me, but I'm not, like, going to say shit.
I'm not admitting it.
Man, it's hard to argue with that, really. Like, nowadays, it's like everybody thinks, I don't know.
I'll say this. I mean, the other guys have kind of, Jesse and Jason, they've kind of stayed away from the limelight a little bit, but like Damien has done some weird shit since he got out of prison. There's no denying that. So you would think like you would think that if somebody was accused of doing this, involving Satanism or whatever else was involved and questioning it there, right, that you would just steer clear of satanic symbols and definitely not get them tattooed all over you or whatever, and make witchcraft books and stuff. Like,
I just feel like at this point, they haven't come up with any feasible other theories yet for who would have done that. And that guy is clearly fucked up. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are fucked up, and that was kind of like, but I mean, he's going a little bit above and beyond what you would be normal, like fucked upness at this point. So, I mean, I'll put it to you this way, if it came out that they were guilty, like, or at least he knew one up, like, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, the sad thing is he could actually admit that they did it at this point, and there's nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, if it came out that they found out for sure that it was them, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Second Amendment?
No.
That's killer. Throw that in there. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea to do a show on the Paradise Lost documentaries. At least the first two. Like, anything after that, I don't really... I mean, the third one was okay. The one that Kevin Smith did, I was not a fan of that one. Kevin Smith did do it, didn't he? Or was he just a producer on it? I can't remember.
On which one?
Oh, God, what was the name of it? It wasn't a Paradise Lost one. It was like a separate one that they did. I don't know. I think that he was at least a producer on it. But all right, guys, I guess we'll call it. But we appreciate everybody tuning in and everything. And we will be back. I think we're talking about doing a Tears for Fears show. I don't know if we're going to say exactly what it is yet, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fan participation in that one too. And we've got a new DEADPIT is watching we're working on. And we still have to do Miles' request from November. I have completely forgot about that. But we will get that one in. What the fuck was the name of it? It's the anthology movie. Dead of Night or something like that. From the 40s. I think that was the name of it. If not,
I don't know.
We haven't watched it yet, so we're going to get to it. But lots of other stuff. Are you doing Friday Night Lives tomorrow or not? I haven't really heard anything about it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. I'll come up with something, or Rambo can come up with something, like, in terms of a topic. Most of it just be us bullshitting around anyway.
But a week from tomorrow, Friday the 13th lives again. Can you believe it? Already another Friday the 13th. There's only one next year.
Are you shitting me?
Yep.
Well, son of a bitch. You're right. That'll be killer. Yeah.
But anything else you got coming up, Uncle Bill?
Bringing back Exploit Nation. So I guess I'll do that after Friday the 13th. So probably that Sunday after Friday the 13th, which will be the 15th. So that'll be when the first new Exploit Nation show will be. And I guess like I can go ahead and like say what the category is. So because I want to get like at least one, if not more, co-hosts on there. The very first show will be body horror, body melt, body whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to pick movies this time. I think that's just too like restrictive to do that. So we'll have the topic, which is body horror. Anybody can bring on any movies that they want to talk about. If you want to talk about The Substance, you want to talk about Street Trash, if you want to talk about Body Melt the movie, if you want to talk whatever the fucking case is, that'll be the first one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Michael Felcher's in here, boys.
Pretty much any Cronenberg movie too. Is that Michael Felcher?
There you go. He forgot who we were. We're just, we're way down here now that he's sold.
Yeah. Now that he's rolling in the big mega bucks.
That we helped him promote, by the way. Without DEADPIT, he wouldn't be anywhere with him trick or treat.
Nope. He wouldn't have been able to do nothing in his career.
Thing about that shit.
Without us, he wouldn't be able to do nothing.
So we want commission on that Felcher.
Sleeping in his pillow that's stuffed full of $100 bills.
You can at least buy us a trip to Ecuador or somewhere for vacation.
Ecuador. I bet he went out and bought a Posturepedic bed with all that money.
He can hide all his money in his Posturepedic bed.
Yeah.
All right, guys, but we have been a packed crowd here all night tonight. Also, DEADPIT, the Christmas shirts are back. Look at all them. Have you seen all them movies, Uncle Bill?
Yes, I have seen all those movies, fucking sadly enough.
So that one is up on there. We got some beanies available if anybody's interested. DEADPIT at gmail.com. Shoot us an email. EndOfThePit, And we're going to get a trip to Paducah, boys.
That's Western Kentucky. Ain't nobody wants to go to Western Kentucky, let me tell you.
But been a real fun show. We will be back sooner than later. Friday night does live tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Check that out. And be sure to check us out always over at DEADPIT.com. I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to bring greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some DEADPIT Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every DEADPIT show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram. And help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So DEADPIT on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing.